IVM.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Positively Unlimited podcast, and today I'm talking about a word that we all struggle with: routine. Sticking to a routine, being disciplined about your routine, trying to build a routine. How many of you all who are listening in struggle with this? Well, I have a perspective that I'm going to share with you, which I hope helps you to, either stick to the routine or build it without feeling like a failure, without feeling resentment, angst, anger, helplessness, frustration, whatever the emotion you feel when you try to stick to that routine or when you try to build it and you fail because, according to you, you aren't disciplined. Here's the thing. All of us think about routine in terms of time. It's like this timetable. And I'm guessing that happens to us because of school and college, because there's a certain timetable that we have to follow. But life does not follow a timetable. Well, not really. In a macro way, yes. But in the micro daily way of living, sometimes the timetable needs to shift. So, for a little bit, think about your routine as big pieces that you need to experience, do, or complete, rather than thinking about the time. So I want you to think about the actions, the projects, the tasks, the what that needs to happen instead of the when it needs to happen, right? So say, for instance, there's someone who wants to have a morning routine of waking up, meditating, having breakfast. Then there's obviously the job. So they're gone for about 10 hours. In between that, the meals have to happen. They want to follow a routine of eating at a particular time and eating right. And then there's a routine that they want in the evening, which is, say, spending time with family or spending time with themselves, working out maybe, or going to some classes, meeting friends, etc., right? So think about this little piece that I have said and start to mark out the what, not the when, the what. So one of the whats is meals, eating the right kind of food. When you eat it, we get to that later. First, let's figure out the what. So how can you eat the right kind of food? Well, you need to plan and prep, which means your meals need to be ready. One way of doing that is by menu planning for 3 days or for a week or whatever, right? But thinking about the what and aligning that. The second thing that comes up then is the when. So, say the person who wants to meditate, maybe you don't meditate in the morning on some days. On some days you end up meditating in the evening. It's okay. The what is important more than the when for a lot of the things that we do during the day. Now, when it comes to eating on time, well, that's a when. However, how and what you eat can be worked around. So, for instance, a client of mine once said that she is unable to follow her routine when it comes to eating lunch on time. And I said, why is that? So she says, because I enter office only at 1 o'clock and then, obviously I start to answer my emails and then I get caught up in that and then I don't end up eating lunch on time. So my immediate response to her was that if you are entering office at 1, then why aren't you eating food at your desk while you are answering your emails? And while I know this may not be the best way to eat your meal, but then you're entering office at that time, that's your office hours. So we are working around that. She said, but how do I do that? Because I eat roti sabzi. So I said, so why don't you put the sabzi into the roti and create rolls? Why don't you package your meal in a manner that makes it conducive for you to sit at your desk and eat it? To which there was a little light bulb going on moment. Something switched on and she said, okay, that is doable. Now, what is the problem that we are solving here? The problem that we are solving is of her eating the right kind of food at the right time. And both can happen. And she will then stick to her routine and then be disciplined as well. So you want to think about the what first and then start fitting it in. I'll give you another example, which was, I just mentioned it, which was about meditating in the morning. The important piece is to meditate every day. Now, whether you meditate in the morning or whether you meditate in the evening or in the afternoon can be something that you can work around and you can shift it as you go along. So if you're going to follow a routine, try to think of your routine as Tetris blocks. Everyone's played that game at some point, Tetris, where these blocks of certain shapes fall and you have to create lines and then those lines disappear and you obviously get points, etc. Not describing the game in detail here, not talking about that, but coming back to the idea that I'm trying to share with you, which is about if every habit or task of yours is a Tetris block, then every day try to set it in a manner that works for you instead of trying to follow a military routine that is identical every single day. Because not all of our lives are like that. And many of us are trying to build new habits as we go along. So another example, and this is something that I spoke about in the previous episode about respecting your body. If you are trying to build a habit of exercising, then do it at a time that is comfortable in your current schedule. Don't try to squeeze it in where your current schedule goes for a toss. Now, if that has to happen, then your routine is going to stay the same and an extra piece gets added on, which means that I may work out in the evening instead of morning, right? So you want to think about how you are working your day. I'm going to give you a clear example based on my day. Also, let me just put it out there. I have my own practice. Hence, my routine is slightly flexible. Now, because my routine is flexible, because I work for myself, because I work from home, I also have a higher need to be disciplined more consciously, right? For me, I have to work harder at being disciplined, which means that as a rule, I wake up between 8 and 9 o'clock. Now, that's my only when. The only when, which is the only thing tied to time that I follow, is when do I wake up. So unless I have slept at 5 o'clock in the morning, I ensure that I'm out of bed by 9 o'clock. Now, things that I have to do in my day. I have to exercise. I have to plan meals, run errands for the home, do my sessions with my clients, create content for Instagram, work out, read, watch a movie, eat, etc. Now, I will look at all of these pieces either the night before or in the morning when I've woken up and decide, okay, decide that I'm going to finish my workout and my meditation today in the morning because my sessions are starting at 4 in the evening. Or I will say, okay, I'm going to get up, get ready and get straight into work, and then I'm done by 5 in the evening, and hence I will do my personal stuff then. Or sometimes my day is broken up and I'll say, okay, I have 2 hours in the afternoon, which is 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So maybe I'll put my meditation and workout in between that time. Now, is this the best way to do it? I don't know. It works for me, and I'm hoping that this idea of having a flexible routine, which is not tied by time, but rather by the task that I want to accomplish, helps you out to create something that you can actually follow and stick with. The problem that happens with routine and discipline, and I've spoken about this in the previous episode where I talk about respecting your body, is that we try to change too many habits together at the same time. So instead of thinking about routine and discipline, or rather instead of thinking about routine and being disciplined about it in terms of time, think about it in terms of big chunks of what it is that you have to do. And like when playing Tetris, you align the lines differently depending on the shapes that are coming down. You align your boxes every day. The idea is to ensure that the 5 things that you must complete in a day are completed, irrespective of when you choose to do it. So I hope this perspective helps you, and with that, I'm going to sign off today. As always, all previous episodes are on the IBM website as well as the IBM podcast app. Please download the app, and you can talk to me on Instagram. My handle is @PositivityAngel. DM me if there is a particular topic you want me to talk about.
Are you constantly seeking happiness? Wondering how to make the most of every day? How not to let your inhibitions stop you from achieving your goals? It's now time to get your A game on. It's time to unlock your true potential. Tune in to the Empowering series with me, Zarina Poonawalla, to feel empowered in all genres of life. From behavioral skills to management skills. From health to relationships. From mental well-being to emotional well-being. And of course, your finances. I've got you covered. With these tips and tricks from me, Zarina, and true life stories from my amazing guests, you're bound to bring your purest to the table. Tune in to the Empowering series with Zarina Poonawalla every Thursday on the IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
How many times have you motivated yourself to improve your sleep, or lose weight, or be more productive? How many times have you failed? Hi, my name is Ashton Doctor. Tune into my show, The Habit Coach Podcast, where we focus on creating small, tiny habits to improve your life instead of those big, impossible tasks. So make listening to me a habit every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com or on your favorite podcasting app.